Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Today I have a really special guest from Louisiana State University. We're going to say LSU. And I'm not going to talk too much. Y'all want to hear from him. Alejandro, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, David. Thank you so much for having me on today. I'm excited to be here and talk about LSU. As you said, my name is Alejandro Ramirez, and I am the Regional Admissions Counselor for the state of Georgia, based in Atlanta, just like you are. I'm going on year number 7 as a professional in higher education, but year number 10 if you count my time as a tour guide in my undergraduate years.
That's right. We're going to count it, man. Undergrad years, walking in the sun, walking backwards, you got to count it.
For sure.
All right. So we've got 5 sections in today's program. I've got some timestamps down at the bottom if you want to jump around, and we're going to jump straight into it. So special academic programs, academic offerings. Alejandro, here's the biggest question, right? So in your undergrad, you're spending at most maybe 20 hours a week learning in a classroom, right? I think parents nowadays, kids are thinking, look, I've got to maximize my return, right? I'm paying a lot of money, spending the best 4 years of my life there. What other learning opportunities are there on campus to fill that other non-classroom time?
Sure. One of my favorites is the residential college experience, commonly referred to at other colleges as learning living communities. Here at LSU, the residential colleges are a freshman experience that allows students to connect with others in their same senior college. Many students in the residential colleges will have classes together, and some classes may even be held in the residence hall. There's also networking opportunities with industry professionals, in-community academic support, and career opportunities.
So this is like students who are in the same major, kind of the same school as you living together.
Yes, that's correct.
I've read about this only at like the elite schools, the Ivy Leagues, and all the medical students, all the engineering students that are in their dorm. And that's how they build that camaraderie. And maybe that's how they build their alumni network so strong, right? They're not just like learning together, but they're living together.
Yeah, absolutely. And we really feel that it helps with the incoming freshman experience because you're interacting with other students that are going through just the same exact classes that you are, all the same homework, all the same tests. So you can really kind of have those built-in study groups.
Yeah, I totally see the value of that. It's actually very useful. You're not just going across campus just to bounce some ideas off of your buddies who like, the same things you do. They're right there, right? You're hopping around in the same dorm and everyone's got all that energy, that, that synergy.
Yeah. Another popular educational supplement is research at LSU. More than 1,000 research projects are underway at LSU at any given time, and there are a multitude of focus areas. Some of those being coastal sustainability and environment, communication and expression, and many more. A few examples of our world-changing research would be the contributions of Professor Gonzalez, Professor Weiss, and LSU students that led to a Nobel Prize in Physics in 2017 for the first detection of gravitational waves. The detection confirmed a major prediction of Albert Einstein's 1915 general theory of relativity and opens an unprecedented new window into the cosmos.
That's really neat. So I was like looking on Google after you sent me this, and it's like this huge plot of land in Livingston, Louisiana, which is only just 30 minutes off campus, where they found these gravitational waves. It's like the main Google image is the research center, like 30 minutes off of campus.
Yeah, and we've got a ton of different opportunities like that on campus, around the nation, around the world. There's also the LSU Science Cafe, which offers engaging conversation with an LSU professor about a particular topic of research and networking on the last Tuesday of every month.
Oh, that's really cool. So students are actually they don't have to be in that college. They don't even have to be in that major. They can just talk to, these professors that are doing cutting edge research just to keep abreast of things.
Yeah, it's really great opportunities. If you're in the College of Business, but still have kind of that science-like mind, you can still go to these opportunities. So, and they've been going virtually as well during, this current time.
Oh, that's good to know. Okay, let's talk to the students who are interested in business, right? These are practical kids. They're all about being employable when they're out of college. They're maybe looking at getting their certificate, in accounting and auditing, something useful that can make them more employable. What's LSU got to offer these practical-minded business majors?
So the EJ Orso College of Business has so much to offer students looking for a top-tier business program. We have the #1 internal auditing program in the world, which started with the endorsement by the Institute of Internal Affairs as the pilot school back in 1985.
So I was reading up about this, and this is really cool. So they started this program with LSU, helping students get their internal auditing certificate while they're in school. And once you get it, I was reading up on Reddit. It does boost your career. It helps you get promotions faster. Especially when you have like an accounting background or you're working in finance. So it's actually like very, very targeted help for students.
Yeah, and there's plenty of internships to go along with those. LSU has over 500,000 internship and job opportunities available around the nation, which is key for business students looking to get hands-on experience in their field. Also, in addition, there's the stock market exchange room. So there's a team that had a benefactor, so they have real money to exchange stocks in real time. And I believe in their first 5 years, they quadrupled the initial endowment. So you get that really cool hands-on experience.
Yeah, with the endowment, with real university dollars, not monopoly money.
Yep, from a benefactor. So it's their money.
That's really cool. So we're kind of moving now from living learning centers, your business student opportunities. What about kind of your classic liberal arts student? These are kids who say, I'm good with communication, I'm good with words. You would probably say I'm a liberal arts person, I'm a people person, but I don't want to major in like old English, right? I want to do something relevant to today. I want to have an impact on the world and people. What does LSU have to offer this kind of student?
Yeah, so those opportunities and those programs are held in the Manship School of Mass Communications, and it has an incredible resume. 9 out of 10 Mass Comm students have a job or in grad school or law school within 6 months after graduation. The incredible professors are a big part of that, especially the #1 Mass Comm professor in the nation, Dr. Jinx Broussard. The Manship School is also home to the nation's first and only doctoral program, specializing in media and public affairs, and 2018's #1 collegiate public relations team in the nation.
So public relations, right? Honestly, I don't think you could say this 10 years ago, but today it's like not an hour goes by where you're not getting some news, some Twitter, some information that's not from a public relations team. Everything that's put out there today, it's coming from somebody who studied at a school of mass communication. It really is kind of perfect for people who see the world of media, of journalism, and just influence, opinion making. And they say, hey, I want to do this at a pro level. I could do my own YouTube channel or whatever, but I want to take this to the next level. And that's why you would go to the Manship School of Mass Communications.
Yeah, absolutely. So the big thing that Mass Comm has going for it, and it's a common theme at LSU that I've been touching upon, is the hands-on experiences available to all the students. So the experiences available to the Mass Comm students, which are the university newspaper, the Reveille, Tiger TV, which is one of my favorite, has one of my favorite programs, Tiger TV Tailgate, which broadcasts in front of Tiger Stadium before every football game. There's also the campus radio station, KLSU, and of course, LSU's Gumbo Yearbook as well.
It's the hands-on experience. It's not just about learning this stuff, but there's programs, there's places, the TV station, the radio station, actually apply some of this knowledge.
Yeah, they're great building blocks to, again, go in and get internships with, local news networks after getting the experience through Tiger TV, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, right. What about the sciences? What about for kids who want to be doctors, dentists, pharmacists, anything that requires like a grad school or a medical school after undergrad? How does LSU prepare them?
So the sciences are some of the bread and butter programs for LSU. We have our own medical school, dental school, and veterinary school. So to support those, we need to have a strong undergraduate foundation to make sure those graduate level programs are bringing in great students, are well funded, et cetera. So this leads to LSU graduates having a higher acceptance rate to medical and dental schools, higher than the national average. And fun fact, almost half of Louisiana's physician and dentists are LSU College of Science graduates.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's big. Like that statistic tells kids that, LSU is doing something right there. Medical school, dental, pharmacy track. That's a good thing. I love that.
Yeah. And then for students that are looking more for like research science and stuff like that, we also have land, sea, and space research grant status to provide funding for research opportunities. Hundreds of College of Science students are involved in research every year, and they can be found in labs across campus, in facilities, and field locations across the globe. One of these science opportunities that amazed me was one that I mentioned earlier, the contributions by members of the LSU research community that led to that 2017 Nobel Prize in Physics Award. How awesome is that?
Yeah.
History being made on LSU's campus.
So real quick recap, we did business students, we did the communications, liberal arts kids, the science kids. Last but not least, what about the engineering student? I know LSU has a ton of resources, a bunch of partnerships to train this next generation of engineers. Can you just touch on some of them?
Yeah, actually, I studied engineering for a bit in college too. So they hold a special place in my heart. And honestly, LSU's College of Engineering blows me away. With a brand new building and state-of-the-art labs, Patrick F. Taylor Hall is my favorite academic building on campus. We've had 45 companies such as BASF and Dow Chemical partner in research opportunities with the College of Engineering, and engineering faculty are granted $26 million in funding annually.
Annually, so that means like every year.
Yeah.
That's saying like companies like BASF, Dow, these are big public companies. They're committed to LSU long-term, right? They want students to know that the funding is there so they can build on their research over the years. It's not like, hey, just this year you've got this money, do something quick before it's gone. They're committed.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also helps that, one of our programs in the College of Engineering is the #3 petroleum engineering program in the nation. So you've got, opportunities like that through that program. It's really great stuff. So as, again, I've mentioned throughout this, engineering has a lot of hands-on opportunities. So they also have the Encounter Engineering Plus program, which take trips to Silicon Valley to visit Google, Apple, and IBM firsthand, as well as Encounter Engineering Europe, who take trips to see BMW, Volkswagen, and Airbus in Germany.
That's so cool, man. I wish they had that at Tech. Because, engineering students, you can really get stuck in the books, right? Your head is in the books and the numbers all the time. You haven't shaved in 2 weeks. You barely changed those 2 weeks. And you're just like stuck in that mode. And getting out there to see the real world, getting out there to see like, what is really actually going on, what your future looks like as an engineer. I think that keeps you grounded. It just keeps you connected with the real world and sane, to be honest. You had mentioned to me that, because of its location near the mouth of the Mississippi River, it's the Silicon Valley of South. Can you give me like the 30,000 foot view, internships, career opportunities? What is the university doing? Not just at a departmental level, but the university level.
Absolutely. So students looking to prepare themselves for their future careers go to the Olin Career Center, and that's located in the Student Union building. The Career Center does a fantastic job working with all levels of students, starting as early as freshman year with resume building and mock interviews. Not only do they prepare you, but they also help you find internships and job opportunities. And their support is also available to you even after you graduate.
I was looking at the virtual career support website. So I guess everything's gone virtual now. It's such a comprehensive website, man. It's got like literally from 1 to 100, this checklist of everything you need to do. How do you build a resume or a CV? If you're doing research, there actually is a difference. What do people look for when they're checking your resume? How to do interviews, how to do the job search, so much detail. And then there's another section for just grad school decisions. So, okay, I don't want to find a job. It's a bad economy. I want to go to grad school. How do you prepare for that? Down to like tips on your personal statement for applying to grad school. That website is something else. It's super helpful.
Yeah, they do an awesome job. And not only, do they have internship opportunities, they also have variety. The Olin Career Center has opportunities for students nationwide. So they can find internships and jobs even when they go back home during the summertime. However, if they're looking to stay on campus, there's also plenty of opportunities right here in Southeast Louisiana, like you said, the new Silicon Valley of the South. For example, one of our own admissions student workers found an internship at ExxonMobil in downtown Baton Rouge. That's another company that's investing in LSU. She found that opportunity during the school year. So she was able to take advantage of this spectacular opportunity to advance her career while also being able to take full-time course load that semester.
It's an important place to be. Where industry is, where Silicon Valley of the South, that's something else. Let's think global. To be honest, I spent 5 years at Georgia Tech, and I did not like my time at Georgia Tech, man. I hated it. And my favorite time in college were the 3 semesters that I studied abroad. It was like my chance to escape Georgia Tech. It was so bad. After you graduate, it's great. But when I was there, man, it was so hard, I did some reading. LSU has more than 50 countries that y'all partnership with. Now, we can't jump into all the study abroad programs, but just what are some starting places to start looking? If the student says, I want a global perspective, right? I want to go to a top-notch school, and that's my global jumping off place. Where do they start looking?
Yeah, so study abroad's a popular opportunity for our students. And it's to me, it's a pretty unique one. So we have 3 different types of opportunities. We have international exchange, which is your, typical study abroad. But we also have domestic exchange as well as summer and intersession programs. So, like you mentioned, LSU offers students over 180 different universities to choose from in 50 different countries internationally, but also 170 different colleges and universities to choose from domestically.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then under the summer and intersession programs, we also offer faculty-led programs. Some of my favorite examples of these programs are the 14-day field research experience to the Galapagos Islands that the College of Coast and Environment goes to, as well as the Manship School, going back to them. They take students each summer to Europe to study comparative media studies and media ethics and how media impacts the United States and the 4 countries that they get to visit. They both sound like such amazing experiences. I'm really jealous that I don't have that opportunity.
Seriously. So that's 180 universities abroad, outside of the U.S., in 50 different countries, and then another 170 universities in the U.S. So
yeah, correct.
Wow. So, honestly, like, I've read a lot about colleges, been to a lot of them. You don't see this that often, like 170 domestic colleges. So let's say, I don't know, if you wanted to live on the West Coast for a little bit, or you wanted to go to the Northeast, that's what opens up those options. And you guys, just check out the website. It's really clearly laid out all the types of study abroad. There's lists of schools and like details of all the programs. I mean, there's like more than 300 programs that we're just talking about here. You can check it out before you even apply. There's something for everybody. Okay, so moving on to the third part, overlooked programs. Alejandro, like, we're really drawing on, your experience as an admissions officer. You see all these applications coming in, right? And I'm going to go on a limb and just bet that most of them are like, okay, I want to be a medical student, or I want to do engineering, or I want to do business, right? Most of them fall into these big buckets, but there's so many more like hidden gems, that students don't really think about, or they didn't read about it, they didn't know about it. What are some of your favorite like hidden programs that students should, give a second look to?
So the ones that we've touched already are very strong programs at LSU, very impressive. But the ones that we've, kind of go overlooked, that are still very impressive. And I touched on it a little bit with the faculty-led study abroad programs, but the College of the Coast and Environment has a lot to offer. With Southeast Louisiana being on the coast of the Gulf of Mexico and the Mississippi River being right there next to campus, there are a lot of opportunities for those hands-on experiences for these students. They also boast a 100% employment rate and acceptance to grad school or professional programs, or their students enlist in military upon graduation. So 100% of their students go on to start their career or further their career. And then the College of the Coast and Environment also has 2 of the top 6 most globally cited scientists in wetlands and marshes working with them, and undergraduate students perform research beside them. So if you're interested in coastal science, LSU is a great place to look at.
That is neat. So these are for like students who want to be marine biologists, ecologists. You've got the coastal environment there, and this is built in. You can't get that anywhere else.
Yeah, and it's really cool. There's a lot of great pictures out there of them wading through these marshlands, and you can just already see all of that experience that they're just able to do right in our own backyard. Another hidden gem at LSU is the College of Music and Dramatic Arts. They offer one-to-one student-to-faculty mentoring and have over 300 annual performance opportunities. The #2 public theater program in the nation is also housed here, and our world-renowned opera program is one of the oldest in the nation.
Honestly, like, you wonder why these are overlooked, because like any one of these things could be like its separate video. Where are you going to get one-to-one student-to-faculty mentoring and 300 performance opportunities every year? I mean, if you're doing performing arts, music, dramatic arts, that's what you're looking for. You're looking for stage time. It takes 10 years of practice off stage to prepare for that 1 minute on stage. And here, students are getting almost every day they can be performing somewhere on stage. That's amazing. The #2 public theater program in the nation, like literally each of these could be their own separate video. Man. Alejandro, last part. So there's a lot of seniors watching this video thinking about, okay, right, how do I make sure I get in? Are there scholarship dollars? How do I maximize my chances of getting in? What is your advice, right? We were talking, you've literally read tens of thousands of applications, essays. I mean, you've seen it all. Give us the inside scoop, please.
Sure. So, in my first year at LSU, I read almost 2,000 applications. And like you said, in my 5 prior years, I read thousands more. So I can safely say I've seen it all when it comes to college applications. But my #1 piece of advice is to apply early. Most colleges, like LSU, will allow you to add documents and test scores after you've submitted your application. So don't be afraid to, submit it as soon as you can. The deadlines that colleges post are the last opportunities, but why would you wait for your last opportunity? Get it off your plate early in your senior year so that way you can focus on enjoying your last year of high school.
I'm totally with you, man, on applying early. It's like, so when I'm writing my essay, right? Like I'll write an essay, turn it in, and then when I get it back, I'll be like, whoa, why did I even write that, right? How could I, what kind of state of mind was I in to put that and think it's okay to turn in? That happens to me a lot. You don't want to do that on your college apps. If you start early, the advantage is you can get up the next day. It's a brand new day. You look at your essay with a new perspective, and you can kind of filter some of those rough edges out. You're saying, representing yourself properly and just being proper. Can you tell us, like, what are some of the funniest, inappropriate things you've read in an essay that's like, okay, that kid applied literally at the 11th hour. You probably should have thought about it or had somebody look at it.
The most common one is the wrong college in the essay. So, I mean, we've gotten ones where it says Clemson, et cetera, but obviously we're LSU. So obviously that student didn't look over it, well enough. But, the college essay should be a process. It should be something like you're submitting it to your English class. It should have drafts. You should get it peer reviewed. You should have it teacher reviewed. You should have it parent and guardian reviewed. The more eyes you can have on it, the better polished that you can get it done. The college essay isn't mandatory, it isn't required for the LSU application. However, due to our review process being holistic, we do highly recommend submitting one. Now, for those of you who don't know, a holistic review means that we look at everything provided in the application. Letters of recommendation, test scores, high school grades throughout all 4 years, extracurriculars, the essay, of course, etc. So the more information we have about you, the better. So again, don't take your essay lightly. Get those reviews in, get those drafts done, etc. Take pride in it and utilize it to tell us something about yourself that the rest of your application doesn't have the chance to tell us. A common mistake that I see it as a mistake is, a student writing an essay, comparing, them to another family member, relative, saying like, for example, how your grandma or grandpa was, your idol, and, they taught you everything, etc. And the mistake that they make is that 90% of the essay ends up being about that relative, and only 10% is about the student that we're trying to review for admission to our university. So like 9 times out of 10, when I read those essays, I'm like, hey, yeah, I would love to admit grandpa, but what about you, the student? So a common mistake is that students don't tie it back to themselves and make themselves the spotlight of the essay, which is what the essay is supposed to do.
Make the essay about yourself. Okay, Alejandro, so LSU requires one letter of recommendation. Like, who should the student pick? How do they decide like who they can get it from? Is it just teachers, or how far out of their academic circle, their school circle, can they go in getting that letter?
So the one that LSU does require is from an academic source. So whether it's from your high school guidance counselor, your favorite teacher, your high school sports coach, etc., someone that can really speak to you both inside and outside of the classroom is what we require. However, like I mentioned earlier with the essay, if you want to submit additional ones, that's great. We want to hear as much about you as possible. So if you have a job, in high school, and you think that your boss can write you one to put that can speak to your character, if you volunteer and the volunteer coordinator is willing to write you one, that can help speak to your character. Because the additional information that you're providing for us can really help supplement all the academic information that you are required to submit. So this information you should be looking at as more of the opportunity to submit who you are as a person. So, you can do it inside the classroom as well. The more, the better. But this is, a great opportunity for us to see you, outside of the classroom, in a community service setting, in your professional job setting, all that sort of stuff. So whatever you feel can help put you in the best light possible will definitely help your application.
Okay. Understood. Alejandro, can we talk about scholarships for a minute here? Like, what kind of merit-based scholarships, need-based, where should kids look for that information?
Yeah, so lots of times colleges have scholarship deadlines as well as their application deadline, but usually they align with those application deadlines. So how LSU does it is December 15th is our priority deadline for the application, scholarship opportunities, and is also the deadline for our honors college. Okay. So at LSU, there's no separate application for scholarships. We review you, all at once based upon submitting your, general application to LSU. Okay. So we do have merit scholarship. We have need-based scholarship. Certain senior colleges have specific scholarship opportunities. Certain alumni chapters around the nation have scholarship opportunities. So all of those are reviewed upon at time of acceptance. And usually that takes a couple weeks after you've heard back from your acceptance. So if you don't see it right away, don't worry about it. It'll be coming. And you can always feel free to reach out to your admissions counselor if you have questions about all that stuff.
What other advice do you have? Just general advice to close us out.
General advice is visit the campus. Obviously, we do a great job with all the information on our website. The admissions counselors are able to give a lot of great information. If you email us, if you call us, etc. Attend our college visits and whatnot. Talk to us at college fairs. But honestly, the best thing that you can do for your college search is to visit the college that you're, most interested in. A handful, whichever that you're looking to apply to. Because honestly, it's all about that feeling when you're on campus. There are going to be times where you step onto campus that you thought you really liked on paper, but the feeling's just not there.
Mm-hmm.
But there are also times where you might visit a university that, like you were interested in it, but you were still kind of like had it on the back burner. But as soon as you visit that campus, all of a sudden you feel at home. You feel like this is the place that you're supposed to be. And honestly, I'm going to brag a little bit about our on-campus experiences. People rave about our campus tours, our big events that we host and everything like that. They all come away saying that it's the best college experience that they've had during their college process. So, the best thing that I can recommend outside of applying early is to visit college campuses.
And guys, I totally agree with that. Just from personal experience, I was looking at applying to this one college. In fact, I knew I wanted to apply there in 8th grade. And then my parents took me on a day trip, and that just deflated that balloon quick. I was like, okay, not how I imagined it in my head all these years. I had it built up. And I totally know what you mean. Like when you're on campus, that vibe you get, from the community, where the college is at, can you imagine yourself kind of thriving there? It's priceless. It's priceless. Alejandro, hey, thank you so much for this, for preparing all of this, because I know that we went through several iterations looking at, all right, these are some points we want to highlight. LSU is a huge school. It has so much to offer, but these are some things we want to point out. Literally, I think like every bullet point that you gave me, right? Why is this like more people don't know about this? And I think it might be because, it's Louisiana. It's like kind of on the edge of the country. It's not like in the middle where everyone can visit real conveniently. It's really awesome how you could spend some time with me sitting down. Again, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. It's been my pleasure. Love talking about LSU, and go Tigers.
Go Tigers. Thank you. Alejandro, dude, I think this is really great. I think it's really great.
This is awesome.
Yeah.